Hi, I'm Richard Knight. I'm the game director for Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced with Ubisoft Singapore. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is the old experience you know and love. Edward and his tales in the Caribbean of assassins and pirates, but modernized with today's technology and gameplay. The latest version of Anvil has helped us a lot, both in terms of visuals. We now have ray tracing and global illumination, but it's also a big deal for us in terms of gameplay too, with night and day affecting your stealth. There's weather that can affect your visibility, both in the ocean and on ground. What's changed with parkour and movement is that we've brought forward the game to the new standards that you've seen with AC Shadows and the recent updates. There's ejects, Edward can jump, and it just makes for a much smoother experience. A lot of the new gameplay with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced involves these new officers that you can find and recruit. When you first run into Lucy, she's a wanted criminal, and you'll just hear it as you're walking around Havana that there's money on her head, right? Which is, music to Edward's ears. Ah, here's somebody I can work with. And as you find her, she's got this whole plot line involving her family and the family fortune. And she would love to work with you, but if you can't deal with her problems, she's not going to help you with yours.
You don't mince words, do you? I suppose I could look around, see what needs doing.
So each of those characters has a story to tell. And on top of that, we also have a new tale involving Blackbeard, which, for fans of Blackbeard, to learn a little bit more about him and Edward and how things turned out in the game, I think will be really exciting.
Were you attacked? Other way round. It were Blackbeard who struck first. Opened fire on a British man-o'-war, the pillock.
When we were going to remake Assassin's Creed Black Flag, we had to focus on something, and that focus was Edward's story. If we can't nail Edward's story, there's no room for anything else. And so we put everything possible into nailing that. So we still have a modern day gameplay and story to tell, but it's now kind of in the name. It's not just Black Flag Remake, it's Black Flag Resynced, right? So we're the next modern AC, and so our modern day continues from what players may have seen in Shadows. Of course, we brought back the underwater diving sections from the original game, where you take the diving bell and you see how beautiful the Caribbean can be when you're underwater. But the other thing we've added is now you can swim anywhere, just like in any modern AC game. So sometimes there's treasure to find, certain quests, there could be a certain cave you're looking for, but it's also just about freedom of approach. Sometimes to get to a certain island or a certain location, maybe you can't find the right place to get to with the jackdaw, or you just want to take a shortcut and just go swimming. It's kind of up to you.
Captain's gone over!
So with combat, we've gone back to the basics and we've come up with a new system that fits more with modern sensibilities. It's more skill-based, it can still quick and brutal if you know how to play, but it's also something that works well for players who learn how to play. The core with us with naval gameplay was to keep that spirit that it had from the original. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we added a little bit more now with officer abilities that add cool things like the ability to brace perfectly and take out a lot of damage. And also the new alternate weapons, which allow you, while you're aiming, to switch between weapon modes with different ranges and damage, so that you can kind of adjust to the fight rather than have to fight everyone the same way. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is coming out on July 9th for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show.